Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm Gleesy, and here forever I do, y'all. We teach you how to brag, build relationships according to God. This month's video, we're taking you guys into a conference that Al and I had the privilege of hosting at a local church. We had this portion of the conference where people that attended the conference were able to submit questions that they wanted us to be able to answer. And we wanted to share this part with you guys because it's just direct insight into things that people are going through, things that people are dealing with in their marriages. And there were some really good questions and practical advice. So we're going to break this down over the next couple of months, and we are so grateful that you guys have decided to click on the video and watch. As you can see today, this topic is very delicate, but I just want you to push in and lean in and keep an open heart and an open mind as you're watching, all right? Okay, so our next question. This question says, how do you move forward after infidelity?
So of course this one is a very difficult, delicate topic. And again, our marriages are supposed to reflect God. So the first thing that came to my mind was forgiveness. And knowing that that's a very tough thing to do after facing that kind of challenge, but forgiveness is a choice. So it's something that even without infidelity, you have to choose every day. You have to be able to be sometimes unoffendable in marriage, because there will be things about your spouse that will challenge you. And in this particular situation, again, you have to choose forgiveness daily. But then also, we like to tell couples that there's no intimacy in marriage without transparency and vulnerability. And that's even more prominent in a situation like this. You need to be transparent, you need to be vulnerable. Why? Because you need to actually share the emotions, the feelings, the thoughts, all the things that you are going through as a result of the infidelity. You need to share that with your spouse. You need to sit down together and say, this is how I'm feeling. This is what this has brought out of me. And then also share, this is how you make it right. And you have to be transparent in that, because you don't want to just say, I forgive you and we can move on. And then as soon as they go out the house and they say, I'm going out with the guys, you're triggered, you're reminded. Or as soon as she goes to work, you're triggered and reminded of that infidelity again, because you never actually took the time to express how it is you felt and what it is that you now want from them in order to be able to move forward. So I would say forgiveness is first. Having those transparent and vulnerable conversations is next. And then also setting some actual realistic boundaries and parameters around your marriage, your relationship, and how it needs to look going forward. So if every Friday you were having a guys' night, then maybe now the parameters need to be like, I don't think we're in a space or in a season for that to continue how it did in the past, because I feel this way. And what does that need to look like now? Or again, whatever side is on, maybe I need to check in a little bit more. Maybe I need to give a phone call now when I get to work, or when I'm going to see a friend or something. Whatever you need, you actually need to share it with your spouse, so that again, like we said earlier, how can two walk together unless they agree? You have to agree on a way forward. It can't be one-sided. It can't be, well, you just need to work it off, and now they're just doing all these random things, and it's still not satisfying you because you haven't shared how you truly feel, and you haven't come into agreement on what is the way forward now.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Our next question. How do you handle your significant other going out with their friends? For example, like a girls' trip or a guys' hangout.
I had to jump on that one. I love it sometimes because I think it helps to express that freedom, right, that we should have. I used to make a joke and say this was the smallest handcuff in the world. But the reality is, you actually have freedom with this.
Yeah.
Because what happens when you step outside, that goes back to the question of infidelity, right? When you step outside, there's a constant reminder that you belong to somebody who admires you, who encourages you. So I'm constantly touching this. Sometimes we do it because we want to show the bling bling on the outside, but I wish it was just a simple ring, because I would still be doing this. So that's the key to the reminder of whose we are when we do that. So it's a little bit difficult sometimes when she says, I think you're going in March, right, for a birthday. it's all girls. And I said,
who knows when it's gonna happen?
Yeah, it's all girls, or you can come along, and then I'm going through the list. Well, who's going? And I'm saying it's all girls, and I'm saying no, I need to stay home. But I think it's also important to have your me time, right? Because sometimes this thing can get a little tough, and so you don't need to see each other 24/7 every minute. Sometimes you need that personal time to recoup, to refresh, because then you come back a little bit more rejuvenated. The other thing with that is when you step away from your spouse for a minute and have your me time, get in the Word. That's your personal time. We do our devotion together, but you need your personal time. So it's good for her to spend time with girls, because the perspective is different than when she's with me or with other couples.
And I would agree with that. I've never been on a girls' trip, but maybe I should try. Maybe I should try that. But I think even in those different scenarios, you want to make sure that you're around like-minded people.
Yeah.
Your girls' trip is with other women of faith, other women of God, other wives that understand the values that need to be placed on different things, so that you're not tempted to do something that may bring shame to your spouse. So I think it's important to spend time. I mean, I love my husband, but I think it's important to spend time with other people so that you get that time to miss you and, just to rejuvenate yourself as well. So yeah. Yes,
Yeah, and I would just add to that as well. Again, expectations and boundaries. If you haven't had that conversation on the front end, it's important to after tonight, make sure you have that conversation about what are the expectations with friends, and extend it beyond that. What are the expectations and the boundaries for friends and family? Because what tends to happen in marriage quite often, the expectations that have 100% chance of going unmet are those that are never spoken. And quite often we don't say what we actually expect or we want, and then when that expectation isn't met, now we feel some kind of way. And also, we all know our friends. We all know those people that we probably shouldn't be going on a guy's trip with, or we probably shouldn't be going on a girl's trip with. And again, you have to put your marriage first and say nah, I'm not going with you guys. We can go to dinner, we can do this, we can do that, but that's a step too far. And we have to be, again, honest with our friends group, honest with your spouse, because if you know that is not the type of guys that you should be hanging out with, I'm pretty sure your wife knows that it's not the type of guys that she would want you going out on a guy's night on.
I'm good. I'm going on my girls' trip. No, but again, even when you go on your girls' trip, like you said, being with like-minded people, but it also gives you an opportunity to share and to reflect and to win some friends. There have been times where we have to sit down together, and spending time together with some of my friends, I have won them over.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you have to be a reflection. You have to be able to, connect with your friends and encourage them and support them.
If you haven't already, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to our channel, follow us over on Instagram, where we share marriage tips and tricks every single day. Remember, all you got to do is brag on it.